Hey, Remarkable users, are you aware that in version 3.27 of the software for the devices, that Remarkable now supports bringing photos into your notebooks? This is not some kind of a workaround like I posted in the past. Before they supported this, I had a couple of videos where I showed you how to do this using your mobile app on your phone and, creating a PDF and bringing it back in and then adding notes pages. That's not what this is. This allows you to truly add photos to your notebooks on your Remarkable device, any device, whichever version that you've got. There's also some cool features that you can do as well. It's not limited to just bringing in the photo and it is what you get. You have the ability to manipulate those. And then there's a secret feature that Remarkable hasn't told you about, but I'm going to tell you about here. So before we jump into the video, I want to tell you about a product I've been using for the past 3 weeks from a company called Tudia. They have a case for the Remarkable Paper Pro called the Tudia M Flip. It's basically a clear back cover that's flexible with two magnetic strips down the side. It's got cutouts for the Remarkable feet, the anti-slip feet, but the case's superpower comes in this removable cover that attaches to those magnetic strips on the back, as you can see here. It also protects the pen. And then in day-to-day use, you have the choice of completely removing the cover, as I showed you originally, or you can flip the cover back, and then this flappy piece right here also magnetically attaches so it's not flying around. The cover does magnetically wake and sleep the device as you open and close it. The clear case on the back also uses anti-yellowing technology, so it won't get yellow over time. You have cutouts not only for the feet, but you also have all of your ports and power buttons are all accessible. Your power button is actually covered, as you can see here, but it's accessible. The magnets are super strong. Since the Remarkable Paper Pro does not use an EMR stylus, rather an active stylus, the magnets do not interfere with the writing at all. And if you want to use the origami case as a stand, you just fold it in on itself like this, and you can use it in both a vertical format or a horizontal format. You can pick this up on Amazon. I do use affiliate links, so if you are interested in this, I would really appreciate it if you click on one of my links. It costs you no extra money. I get a very small commission off of it, and it would be much appreciated. All right, so let's jump into it. How does the photo import work? And what was that secret feature I teased you about just a few minutes ago? So this is only accessible through the Remarkable desktop app. So I'm using a MacBook Pro. This also works on Windows as well. It does not currently work on your mobile apps on your phone or your iPad and stuff like that, but certainly on your desktop it does. So let me show you how this works. All right, so for the purposes of this demo, I've created a notebook, just blank. It's only one page right now, but I just called it Photo Demo. So I'm going to show you how to bring in photos. So I've gone into the Photos app on my MacBook Pro. Of course, it would differ for Windows, and I've created a folder just called Remarkable Photo Test. And to keep from showing you all my private photos, I've just copied some of my recent YouTube thumbnails in here as photos, and I'm going to show you how to bring those in. Now, there's a catch to this. If you try to bring them in more than one, you can certainly do that. So I can select more than one at a time. If I drag and drop them over to my desktop app, they're going to stack on top of each other and look like you've just imported one photo. So if you do that, just realize that you're going to have to move those around and unstack them. I'm going to only do one photo at a time for now. So I've got the windows side by side, and I went ahead and opened up that note that was called, I think it was Photo Demo. So I can literally just drag and drop a photo over here. And as you can see, that's very large, but I can also click on the photo here and I've got the handles to be able to resize. I can move it around. I can make that whatever size I want to. So if I wanted to fit all of my photos in here, I could just bring them in and resize them however I wanted to resize them. All right, so to save a little time, I just wanted to show you I brought in 4 of the photos that were in that photo album. So now let's move over to the Remarkable Paper Pro. All right, so the file has already synced up. So let's go ahead and open this up, and I'll show you what we can do. Now, you can't just manipulate these photos and move them around or anything. You have to go to your lasso tool or your selection tool here. And now you've got the ability to move these around, and you can see the ghosting that was created, but it cleared up pretty quickly. I've also got the ability to resize again, and you'll see that that will clear up once I fix that. And I can do the same thing with all of the photos on the page here. So that's pretty cool. You'll see it refresh here in just a second, as Remarkable does with all of the color content on the Gallery 3 screen. So there's a limitation to this, that you can only bring them into notebooks. You can't use the desktop app to drag and drop these photos to any PDF, which is a little bit of a bummer for me because I use a lot of hyperlink PDFs. I build my own, as you know. You can look in the description of my video. You can go to my Etsy store and see all the Remarkable templates that I built for both the Remarkable Paper Pro All of the 10-inch devices, not only remarkable, but also the remarkable Paper Pro Move that were designed to fit that particular screen aspect ratio. I would really like to bring photos into that, and it won't allow you to do that. However, I told you that there's a secret feature that Remarkable is not telling you about, but I'm going to tell you about here. You can get these photos into your PDFs. Let me show you how. So when you're in the notebook that you created using the desktop app, you've drag and drop these into your particular notebook. Now, once you've got this selected down here at the bottom, I can tap on this photo, and then I've got the ability to copy it or cut it. And then, of course, you got the same, it's copied to the clipboard. Now I can leave this document and I can go into a PDF document like my daily journal that I created for the Remarkable Paper Pro. And I can, just like I do any other copy and paste, I can just tap somewhere on the screen and there's that photo in my PDF document. As you'll see, it'll refresh here in just a second, but I'm sorry, once I deselect it, it will refresh, but I can move this thing around my PDF document. I can click outside of it and you'll see it refresh. And now we've got the photo inside there. So this is really cool because I use my own PDF documents. I would love to be able, this is my daily journal, by the way. I would love to be able to bring photos into my daily journal, and I've never been able to do that on the Remarkable until now. So I don't know if I'm the only one that gets excited about stuff like this, but not only for stuff like my daily journal to be able to bring in pictures, but I also am in the field a lot. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I go to these large million and a half square foot warehouses, and I'm walking around with one of my devices taking notes. Typically, if it's a Remarkable, it's going to be the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. Sometimes maybe a Remarkable 2, but when I'm doing that, I like to snap photos, and then later I like to integrate those into my notes. I would love if Remarkable were to allow this feature on my phone app or my iPad app to where I could be able to do it while I was in that building. Of course, I wouldn't have my iPad, but I would have my phone with me. The other good news about this, somebody's going to ask, yeah, but do you have to pay the Remarkable Connect subscription to get this? This is not behind the Connect subscription. It's available to any users, whether you have that subscription or not. So that's good news. So like a lot of you, there are a lot of other features I would love to see added to the Remarkable. And, hopefully they're working on this a little bit at a time. There's for a PDF feature, Remarkable, if you're watching, I would love to be able to type on a PDF, use my type folio case with that. You currently can't do that on a PDF document as of now. And for some reason, I don't know why that is, but a lot of manufacturers limit text addition to PDF documents. Somebody out there probably knows the technical reason why that's limited. I just would love to be able to see that as a user. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, consider liking the video. And if you would, also consider subscribing to the channel. We're now over 6,200 subscribers and growing. I'd love to hit that 10,000 mark, sometimes by late summer, and I could do so with your help, and it would be very much appreciated. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.